And should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
You know, I think that this is such a, you know, I think that this is a, this is, of course, a very long-standing policy of the United States.
All right, it went on longer than that as she tried to figure out what her take was on Taiwan. That was Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is now surging to the top of the Democrat field in New Hampshire, up 7 points from February. Former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg 1 point behind her. They are far ahead of former Vice President Kamala Harris, who dropped down to just 5% in this University of New Hampshire poll. She was double that 5 months ago. So you see a little bit of shifting happening as there's all of this discussion about socialism and communism. AOC is actually rising up the ranks. Watch this.
Any interest on being that 2028 nominee for Democrats?
I have genuinely not really weighed seriously anything past the midterm election.
Okay, let's bring in Kellyanne Conway, former senior counselor to President Trump, now president of KA Consulting and a Fox News contributor, and Meghan Hays, Democratic strategist and former Biden and Obama White House advisor. So I want to quickly ask both of you in short answers if you can. Kellyanne first, do you think she is viable as the Democratic nominee, and what do you think of her chances?
She is viable because the Democratic bench is weak, and they're very worried about this democratic socialism. I would point out that even under Biden, she passed 0 bills. She introduced 4. So she's an effective pontificator, social media communicator. She's not an effective legislator. And the thing about her, she's getting compared to Barack Obama. The unfortunate part for her is by 2028, she will have been around for 10 years. You can't be the new voice, the fresh face for 10 years. She will be in her 5th or 6th term in Congress. And he ran on hope and change. She's running on Hamas and communism.
I'm just smiling because, you know, 10 years is pretty new when you compare it to some of the people that have been around Washington for decades and decades and decades and keep running for office. I want to play this because it's interesting. This is James Carville talking about his concerns about all of this and the increase of attention that these socialist communists are getting. And then you see what the fierce reaction is, Meghan. Watch.
These people are paternalistic, and it's a bunch of overeducated little white turds who think they know more than other people know.
Carville and many other of the older leaders like him, they are scared. That dude does not understand what it's like to be a 20 or 30-something in the United States right now.
I think the older generation, too, often minimizes the intelligence of young voters.
I think of my sons, they're very well informed. They just don't agree with it.
Meghan, your thoughts?
Look, I think AOC is tapping into something that Democrats want a fighter and people want something different, and they want people that are going to be out there fighting. And like Kellyanne said, she's an excellent communicator. She is excellent on social media, and that's what people see, and she has name ID. So I think that is why she is rising here in these polls. I don't think any of those people in that poll will be the Democratic nominee.
Really? Who do you think will be?
That's a great question. I hope that we don't know them yet.
I know. I mean, when you look at like the Clinton and Obama candidacies, both who won, they were definitely not people who were on the radar. Even President Trump, Kellyanne, in 2016, people sort of scoffed at the idea that he was actually going to hang in there and end up being the candidate. You know, what do you think in reaction to what Meghan just said, Kellyanne?
Well, if people want an outsider like Obama, that's not going to be AOC. She's flying around. Flying around is not an accomplishment. It's an activity. And she's flying in private planes to go out there and talk about socialism. Look, the Democratic Party, according to recent polling, is plus 17% in favor of socialism, but the rest of the country, Martha, is minus 27%. It's a 44% gap. So she can, look, New Hampshire, or this poll, that poll, she can pull ahead among what is a very unimpressive field. Obviously, this is Kamala rejection syndrome. People don't want her back in the game, and they're romanticizing AOC, but she'd have to run across the whole country. She wins in a safe district in New York City. The contrast to Trump is very simple. President Trump was an outsider, but he was a darned accomplished one with deep pockets and high name ID. Where is AOC's accomplishments in building golf courses and skyscrapers and having the #1 show on network TV? There's no, people want to know you outside of politics. We only know her inside of politics.
Kellyanne, thank you. Meghan, thank you very much. Great to see you both.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.